Good evening and welcome to the golden years of Hollywood. Well, if you like a bit of adventure, you're going to love tonight's film, River of No Return, starring Robert Mitchum, Marilyn Monroe, Rory Calhoun and Tommy Rettig. And it's set in the Californian gold rush days. Now, needless to say, the hero is played by Robert Mitchum, and he rescues Rory Calhoun and the delightful Marilyn Monroe from a leaky and somewhat dilapidated raft that's menaced by treacherous rapids and hostile Indians. Well, Rory repays Mitchum's kindness by stealing his horse, which leaves our hero, his son, and Marilyn Monroe stranded in the wilderness, battling the elements. If it was me, I'd be telling my son to go and play cowboys and Indians all the time. I certainly wouldn't mind being stranded with Marilyn Monroe one little bit. She's one of my long-time favourites. The raft sequences are nothing short of breathtaking and quite thrilling, and also very well filmed, as are the many gorgeous location shots. The cast is top-notch, but the script is, well, let's say it's a little wishy-washy. Robert Mitchum is a veteran of more than 60 films, and believe it or not, he started his career doing bit parts in the old Hopalong Cassidy films. This soft-spoken, sleepy-eyed American leading man has been described as triumphant by sheer force of personality over scores of inferior films, and applauded for enhancing a few good ones, like tonight's. The versatile Mitchum claims he's played everything but women and midgets, but most times he's been cast as a hard-bitten soldier, cowboy, or an out-and-out villain. This is probably because of a vaguely belligerent expression and an air of one who smells something slightly unpleasant. As for Marilyn Monroe, well, she was one of the most publicised and most talked about leading ladies in the history of motion pictures. She was a former model whose classic rags to riches story was built on a super sexy image, which quickly tarnished, leaving her frustrated, neurotic, and a tragic victim of the Hollywood that created her. Her miserable family background, her marriages, her friends in high places, her dazzling blonde beauty with a hint of total vulnerability behind the sensuous facade, all of these things combined to make her life and tragic death front-page news around the world. I was 17 when she died and absolutely shocked that someone so beautiful with so much to give could depart so hurriedly and in such a fashion. As a matter of fact, back in those days, I had visions of marrying her. Well, to be quite truthful, it was a toss-up between Marilyn and June Allison, but fate had different things in mind, and I missed out both ways. Not that I'm complaining, mind you, I'm more than happy with the wife that I've got. Anyhow, let's leave it there before I hang myself well and truly. After the movie, I'll tell you something about Francis Timothy Durgan and young Tommy Rettig. But in the meantime, let's settle back and get comfy to watch River of No Return. Rory Calhoun was born Francis Timothy Durgan, and he made his screen debut in 1944. This American leading man of the 50s action films has been described as pleasant and dependable, but somehow he never quite made it to the top. He's played innumerable cowboy roles in films and on TV, and he featured in the TV series The Texans. It's a bit of a shame that such a good actor spent most of his acting days in the saddle. You might also remember young Tommy Rettig on the box years ago, especially from his TV series, Lassie. All in all, I hope you enjoyed tonight's film, and I look forward to your company in a fortnight's time. Next Friday night, Taz TV Sport will take you live to Muirfield, Scotland for the British Open Golf Championship. So, until then, have a good night and a great weekend.